I was certainly moved as I watched the storm coming into New Orleans. I have friends that live in New Orleans, and I was checking in with them during the storm and heard how bad the wind was, and just knowing what they went through.
When Hurricane Ida hit the southern United States on August 29, 2021, it left a path of utter destruction, creating shocking images that spread around the world. When Jamison Hunsberger and his colleagues saw the damage and heard of the millions left without food, water, or shelter, they knew they had to help.
So, I had the idea of being able to send some of our produce to Louisiana. The next question was, how do we do that and who could receive it?
As farm manager at the nonprofit First Fruits Farm, Jamison is used to raising food for those in need. But the question remained, how to get it there?
Thankfully, through reading a news article, I saw an organization called Convoy of Hope that was already sending tractor-trailer loads of snack foods and bottled water and stuff like that into the area. Just called their number, and they were very interested in receiving fresh produce from us.
With decades of experience in disaster relief, Convoy of Hope eagerly accepted the offer. Meanwhile, the farm sprang into action.
So each box holds about 3.5 dozen. So if you figure, a family might take 6 ears, maybe a dozen, you're going to have thousands of, families that get fresh corn.
Rick Bernstein and his family founded First Fruits Farm back in 1998. Since then, it's grown into a 203-acre property in Freeland, staffed mostly by volunteers.
We didn't start out being this organized. If I showed you what it looked like, 20 years ago, you'd be like, oh my gosh.
On this weekend in September, over 100 people showed up to help pick and pack vegetables. For some, the work is personal.
When I found out that they were particularly sending food to the South Louisiana area, it really hit home with me because I work for a company that manages 50 nursing homes in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. And so this past week, I've been watching our staff leave their home and evacuate with our residents. And they don't know what they're going to come home to. And sometimes when you come out here, you don't know exactly where the food's going to go. But this time, when you find out that it's going to an area where you know people and love people and they work for you, it means even more. And it's just so cool to be able to spread God's love from right here in the middle of a cornfield all the way to Louisiana.
The farm primarily serves food banks in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. But a stellar growing season in 2021 meant they had plenty to share.
All of our kind of consistent long-term relationships, we're still supporting them. We're just able to take some of the excess that we have, abundantly this year and direct it to the relief down in Louisiana.
And their generosity inspired others.
Wherever the need is, we're going to make sure that people are taken care of, because that's what we as farmers do. We take care of people. We feed them.
With the help of Albright Farms in Moncton, word spread around the local community. And suddenly, all kinds of donations began rolling in.
There was greens, there were watermelons, there were tomatoes, there were eggs, there were squash, dairy, cheese, yogurt, milk, potatoes, all kinds of stuff.
More than 25 farms contributed from across the state. Even Maryland's Secretary of Agriculture, Joe Bartenfelder, traveled all the way from the Eastern Shore to pitch in.
Now, this is another example of people who are in need, who experience devastation, where our Maryland farmers are coming together to make sure that they have food to eat.
By the end of the day on September 7th, they'd filled multiple tractor trailers with 46,000 pounds of sweet corn, green beans, and potatoes, plus another 14 pallets of assorted produce, dairy, and meat. To top it off, Mount Air Farms donated an entire truckload of chicken.
In a country that has been through a lot, right? A lot of divisiveness, there's an opportunity an example of what made America what it is, right? People coming together to help each other.
Convoy of Hope took the donations to Louisiana and other affected areas where they helped feed hurricane victims and relief workers.
People pull their cars up, the volunteers will put the produce right in their trunk. They'll be able to take it home to their family and have something besides snack foods and bottled water to eat.
Given the positive response, it looks like this won't be the last time the two groups collaborate.
They were very excited. In fact, we already even talked about, more of a long-term relationship with them as they have programs throughout the U.S.
But whether around the country or just down the road, Maryland farmers are always willing to lend a hand.
In the Bible, it talks about for who has been given much, much is required. And, when I looked around and saw all the produce that we have, my goal is to be a good steward of that, to be faithful with it. So getting it to people who really do need it is really what kind of excites me and gets me out of bed in the morning, and it was cool to be a part of.
If you're interested in volunteering at First Fruits Farm, you can sign up on their website. Thanks for watching Maryland Farm and Harvest. We hope you liked the video. To learn more about our show and watch full episodes, check out mpt.org/farm or just click the link in the description.